What's up, guys? Joshua Yale here with Taika Waititi and Jermaine Clement. What's up, guys?
Hey,
nailed
what's
our
up?
names
Nailed
there.
it.
That was the fourth take.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't quite get the names, but I got it now. You guys are here to talk about What We Do in the Shadows,
Yeah.
a new vampire mockumentary you guys have. It's originally started as a short film that you had years ago,
Yeah.
and now it's been to Sundance, and now it's coming out in theaters on. It's February 13th, right?
You know everything. Why are we even here?
Yeah. Well, good. Well, tell me how it feels like to bring it from the short movie all the way to theaters.
Wow.
When we made
like
the
we've
short-
accomplished something.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a good feeling.
Yeah,
it's
it
a good
feels
feeling.
good to finish stuff.
I was going to talk more about that.
I've got a lot of things I have never finished, a lot of projects, and it's really hard. It's hard to even think about them because it's really I'm disappointed in myself. But with this film, very happy with
We
myself.
made it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was the genesis of the idea of these vampires who are roommates, like flatmates?
Yeah.
Well, we flatted or roomed together. It sounds weird, roomed. We weren't in the same room. We didn't live in the same room.
They know that. That's what the Americans call living in the same house. They
Yeah,
call it
flatting.
roommates.
Okay, well, it's
It
flatting.
always sounds like you share a room, so why don't you change it?
Change it. Just change it now.
Okay, well, I'll
Be
put
the
out-
first. Be
I'll-
the change that you want to see in America.
Okay, it's
We don't
flatted.
want
You guys
change.
say flatted?
We
Yeah.
flatted together.
Flatted. Okay, so.
So we flatted together and then
In different separate rooms.
so separate. There's a hallway between them.
Okay.
Basically, this film's just about us flatting and the different people we've flatted with, and
But
we
we're
just
vampires.
change them into
Of course.
vampires to protect the innocent.
And your character Vlad, like, what was the inspiration for that? Vlad, like the poker of women, was it?
Well, not just women.
Yeah, no. I think
Oh, okay.
No,
equal
no, it doesn't
opportunity
discriminate.
poker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Equal
he-
opportunity poker.
Well, back in the medieval times, there were a lot of tyrannical torturers, and him being one, his method was to poke people.
Everyone would have
You know,
to
with-
find their own thing. Dracula was an impaler, so he would impale, so it'd actually go through the body.
This Vlad
He would
was a
prod.
slightly on a lesser tier, so yeah.
There's
just a
also
poke.
Sebastian the Prodder, and he would just gently prod, which is not quite as invasive as a poke, and definitely not as invasive as an impaling.
Okay, and so when
can be
you
very
brought those
invasive.
sort of larger than life, like sort of historical things, and had to make them the qualities of like a roommate, how did you guys like translate? How did you like, come up with what your vampires like personalities were going to be like?
Well, each of them comes from a different time, so it's almost like they're time travelers. They've just been alive that whole time. My character's been alive over 800 years. And
Mine has been alive since the late 1700s, and most of the characters pretty much just wear what they wore in their own time. You know, so for instance, if we turned you into a vampire now, you pretty much forever wear a suit jacket with a bright t-shirt.
the Miami Vice look.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was going for, so glad I...
You are looking
Glad I-
great, by the way.
Thank
So
you.
if there's
Nailed
any
it.
time to be bitten and turned into a vampire, today's the day.
Yeah. And that was
Don't delay.
Sure.
I'm telling you.
That was a great gag in the movie she was her, what do you call it? What's the, familiar, right? She wanted to be turned to a vampire, and he was sort of like playing with her. What is that? Like playing with the vampire craziness versus like the roommate craziness. How did you like merge that together? It's sort of the problem vampires have, and
Yeah,
it's-
We just thought that vampires often come off as lonely. They're pretty solitary figures, and we're thinking our vampires, even if they were aristocrats hundreds of years ago, their money's probably dwindled down by now. They haven't invested wisely.
Inflation has really done a lot of damage. Like, you know, in the old days, like if you had, 500 doubloons or gold pieces, today they might.
You want to
not,
keep
know.
onto the physical doubloons. Anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't.
You want to exchange them for, like, even like Deutschmarks.
So they're living.
Sure.
They're living
No such
together
thing as Deutschmarks anymore.
for a long time. So imagine if you have you had roommates?
Yes.
Have you had any tension?
Yes.
Imagine if that's 200 years you have that going on.
Good point. Okay.
That's where the movie starts.
Yeah, and as funny as the movie is, it actually like is sort of saying some things, and it's almost a reflection of
It's very
like,
deep.
the changing of the times. And I like how when the part when they sort of got to know modern technology, they couldn't look in the mirror, but cameras work.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, cameras work, yeah.
They do. They work. If you want to film
know
a
that-
vampire, use cameras. It'll be fine. We've tried it.
Yeah.
So what's the pitch for this movie? How would you guys describe it for people who are interested in going to see it?
We'd say Spinal Tap for vampires.
Spinal Tap for vampires. Okay. Care to elaborate?
Oh,
Have you seen Spinal Tap?
Yeah,
Okay.
the rockumentary.
Yeah, so it's a mockumentary about vampires. Yeah, it's
Do you want more? How
more, do
elaborate?
you want
would
more
like
film
this?
references?
No, yeah, sure.
Okay, Interview with a Vampire meets Spinal Tap meets Dracula meets.
Meets a documentary of some kind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Meets Anderson Cooper.
All right. Meets Anderson Cooper. Okay, and I have to
Big
mention
Brother.
Reese Darby. So you guys like worked with before. What was like the genesis behind like coming up with the werewolves, not so werewolves a bit?
Well, it just seems like if every vampire film deals with the werewolf-vampire
These days.
relationship these days.
days.
So it just made sense, I guess, to include them in this. But originally, we didn't have werewolf characters. That was a late development.
Mm-hmm.
And Reese is
They're just trying
one of
to
the more werewolf type people in New Zealand.
Yeah, he's one of the alpha males of New Zealand.
Uh-huh.
So he's the leader of the werewolves. But they're trying
Incredibly
constantly
manly.
to keep their wrath in. So they don't want to swear, they don't want any conflict that will make them transform.
Very cool, very cool. And I hope you don't mind, let me ask you.
Ask me.
No,
Okay.
I want to know this. This is something I want to know, because I know what you're going to
Well,
ask.
this one's for him. Well, this
Yeah.
one's actually I want to ask you about Flight of the Conchords. It's been a while since anything has come out. Flight of the Conchords. Have you talked at all about maybe doing a return like a standalone feature, or maybe even like a Flight of the Conchords movie?
Last time I talked about that was last night to someone, to our director of our show, James Bobin. I was like, well, what if we did this? What if it was set in 1982? And that we'll probably sit on that for a year and think about that. But for us, the most fun thing to do is tour. You know, that's really fun. Why would we do another thing?
I mean, is there a chance of you going back on tour again?
Yeah, we're going to tour later on in the year.
Okay. That's already been
States.
announced. News to me.
Is it? Well, it's not announced. I just said it. I didn't
Okay.
announce it. I said
Announce it.
into-
Do it more of an announcement.
No, I can't do that. That's got to be all the dates have got to be in place and everything's got to be.
Just, yeah, it would have to sound very
Then you
official.
can announce it.
Very good.
Now I've mentioned it. It's been mentioned,
Hinted.
Okay.
hinted at.
Another project that you were in Men in Black 3, and would there be?
Yeah, I can confirm that.
There is sort of talks, like rumors of a Men in Black meets 21 Jump Street movie happening. Now, I know, spoiler, your character.
I don't want to hear it. I don't hear it. I haven't
Your
seen
character died, and
Ugh.
Not only did my character die, my character died twice. My character, first the older version, he's a time traveller. The older version visits the younger version. Then, back in time, the older version dies, and then the younger version dies.
it. Oh, too confusing for me. I'm not going to bother watching that.
now
that you've spoiled it for me.
He's gone.
He's a double
twice,
dead.
twice over.
Double dead.
But he's an alien. Maybe he could come back in some way. There's time travel. The character could come back. Would you be interested in being in this upcoming movie if it were to happen? If
21 Jump Street.
meets Men in Black, yeah.
I'm not sure how they're
Say
going to
no.
do that.
Say
No, I'll
no.
do it. I'll do it.
As your agent,
If
I
I
can tell you
wasn't
there's big mistake.
Twice dead. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I have to ask you
Yeah,
a,
you have to ask me.
a question
Just asking
about
something,
one
just to make
question.
it feel a
about
bit
well,
more
it's going to be a good
balanced.
one because
About hydration?
Green
Or-
Lantern is a movie that I've seen about like 100 times, and
wow.
I
Guess what? I'm in that.
Yeah, you totally are. It's Tom, Green Lantern's friend. So what was? Did you know maybe what the plans were for your character, or anything you wanted to do with your character? Had there been a sequel?
Well, I suggested that there was like a spin-off, like a called the Brown Lantern, and that I would play that as a sort of just a like that was like what I thought was going to happen in the film. Then I read the script after I signed the contract, and it wasn't in there. And so, but I had to do the.
What's
I had to
happening with
play the
Brown
friend?
Lantern? What's happening with
Brown
Brown
Lantern's still in development, but
Yeah.
that's him down there.
You're attached.
They coloured him in green for this. Yeah.
So it would be Brown Lantern with his own power ring.
Oh, there I am.
Yeah,
With brown?
it emits a brown light.
Just a
Okay.
brown light, yeah. So,
'Cause-
which is like one of the more powerful lights, one of the more
Really?
powerful forces in the in
Interesting.
the universe. Is
You
the
don't know
colour
that
brown.
because people don't choose a brown light very often.
No.
Okay. Well, there
it's not
are
in the
different
big-
colors. I don't know if there's yellow and red and
Yeah.
blue and green.
Well, it's sort of like a
Lanterns.
yellowy red, like but brown.
Okay,
Lantern,
sort
yeah.
of a mix.
Yeah, it's more like a sepia lantern.
Okay.
Makes everything look old.
Okay.
A sepia lantern.
Well, very cool, very
Check it
cool.
out.
We're about to wrap it up, but any last things you want to say about what we do in the shadows, which is out February 13th, right?
It's
In
out
February
theaters?
13th, which is is that a Friday?
Friday the 13th.
Wait,
Ooh.
That's a really bad idea. We shouldn't be doing this.
The 13th, just in New York and LA, and then on the 20th, the week after.
Everywhere else. Not
Okay,
everywhere,
wide
but-
release.
Yeah,
So just New York and
wider,
LA.
Understood.
wider release.
Good to know. Good to know.